Okay, this is going to be a video where I'm going to go over some guns that I think could be cool for them to add into the finals. This isn't like a wish list for next season or anything like that. It's just kind of that gun looks cool, and I think it can work well with one of the classes in the finals. So first up, we have the Remington XP100. It is a single-shot bolt-action pistol with a, I'm not sure if it's built-in or not, but with a scope. And I think the version in the finals could have a scope as well. I think it could have a same or similar damage output to the sniper rifle in for the light class. And it would be available for either medium or heavy. I think medium would kind of make sense to have a high skill but competitive sniper rifle to the light sniper rifle. Maybe you would do like slightly less damage so that in a snipe off. I don't know, but I think it could work well, or at least be cool. There's some cool reloads that you could do. And then next up we have the Colt 9mm carbine. It would have a somewhat small mag size, probably like 25, 30 rounds. It would have pretty low recoil. It would have a pretty mid damage output, and it would have a pretty fast fire rate. And it would be available to medium as a counter to the light classes SMGs, because medium does not have an SMG yet. Next up we have the M2 carbine. It would also have a small mag. It would have pretty significant recoil in semi-automatic, and it would have really high recoil in automatic. And it would probably do similar-ish damage to like an AK or a SCAR. And it would be available for the medium class. I think it could be a pretty interesting middle ground between the SCAR and the Pike 5.56. It would be pretty pokey, but if you get close, you would be able to switch the firing mode and gun people down in close range. But it would have a pretty small mag, I think 10 to 20 rounds. And that recoil would be pretty crazy for it to be fair. This could be a pretty broken gun, but I think it'd be pretty cool. Next up, we have the American 180. I'm not sure if that's what it's called, but all the stuff that I've seen about it, it's called the American 180. It would have a very large mag. It would have a super long reload. It would have medium-ish recoil. It would have pretty low damage. It would have a pretty high fire rate. And it would be available for the light class. I could see it having a pretty low, a pretty short damage range, so that you can just beam people. And I think it'd be interesting if they implement a spread system or something like that, maybe. I don't know. But it would kind of be like light classes minigun, but way less good and a lot worse. Next up we have the G36. It would have a normal AR mag size, so 25 rounds, 30 rounds. I actually don't know how much is in a default G36 round mag, but anyways, it would have more damage than an AK, but lower fire rate than an AK. It would be more consistent recoil than the SCAR, and it would be available to the medium. I think it would be a pretty cool middle ground between the AK and SCAR. The AK is high fire rate, large mag size, but the bullets don't do as much. And the SCAR is lower fire rate, smaller mag size, but it's kind of higher damage. So something that's in the middle would be interesting. The recoil could be maybe a little bit more punishing than the SCAR or something like that, to make it a little more fair. But yeah. Next up we have what I'm seeing is called the Cimarron 1885 4065. I don't know ammo types very well, so I'm guessing that's the 4065 is the ammo or whatever. But it would be a high damage, a one-shot headshot to a medium, and one-shot to light, and two-shot to heavy. It would have a super long reload. Well, not super long, but you would have to reload between each shot, because it's a single shot. It would have a pretty long ADS time and really bad hip fire, and it would be available to on my script I have available to medium, but in my brain it makes a little bit more sense to have it for heavy. So medium or heavy, but probably heavy. Next up we have the Saiga 20. It's a semi-auto shotgun. It would have a medium fire rate, and it would be available to the medium class. Could be broken, who knows? But I think medium has some really shit shotguns, and now that the incendiary one has been nerfed into the ground, not that it needed to be so powerful in the first place, but you know, having a semi-auto shotgun with smaller mag size, something like that, would be pretty, I think, fair, maybe. I don't know. Next up we have the USAS 12. It's another semi-auto shotgun. It had really high recoil, super slow fire rate, and it would be available to the heavy class. In my mind, it would be able to like almost one-shot a light and like 2 or 3 shot a medium, and then like 4 or 5 shot a heavy. It would be, I imagine, pretty oppressive in close range and like close quarters. Next up we have the M1911. It would have lower damage than the revolver. Fire rate similar to the revolver though, and would have like a mag size of 9, and it'll be available to the medium class. I think the damage would have to be pretty, like, a lot lower than the revolver. But the M1911 is on like every single cosmetic from like the earlier seasons. Like it's in like every holster. If you see like a cosmetic with like a holster in it, it probably has their version of an M1911, but it's kind of fucked up because it has like a really big pistol grip. The proportions are all wrong, but I think it would only make sense to have it in the game. It would be really cool. I don't know why Light gets to have all the pistols. It would just be pretty epic gameplay, in my opinion. Okay, next up we have the PE57 STGW. I don't know what that means, but this thing looks cool. It would have a higher damage than the other machine guns for heavy class. It would have a much lower rate of fire, and have a smaller magazine size. It would be more accurate and less intense recoil than the other guns, the other machine guns. And it would be available for the heavy class. This thing just looks cool. It sounds really cool. It would have some really sick animations. And that's all of the guns I've laid out that I think would be cool to have in the finals. If you guys like this, I will make another one, because there's lots of other guns that I think would be cool in the finals, but this is the video. I post lots of content. Well, not lots of content, but I post clips to TikTok, Instagram, here. I want to post more on YouTube, but I cannot make YouTube work lately. I cannot. Anything I put up, it just gets like no views besides shorts. Shorts get views. Videos, I mean, I've tried to start up other channels and stuff, and just nothing fucking works. So if you guys see this, please drop a like or comment or subscribe. I don't know. It'd be cool. The finals is awesome. Okay, bye.
And the Kingfish just got hit by another wave. Fortune loves a target.
They just couldn't swim away from that one.
We've got the Kingfish returning to the arena. Let's chip away. The live wires jolt forward, opening for 3. Deployed. We just passed the halfway point, and I'm really impressed with the team so far, June.
That's for sure, Scotty. Keep your eyes glued on this epic battle.
Flashbang out. Sudden stop for the Steamrollers as they suffer a new team wipe. The Steamrollers have turned up the heat and rolled back into the fight.
Fully recharged, I assume. Could be bad news for the live wires.
Okay, let's go. The Steamrollers struck up a cash box. Special delivery. Black bang out.
A contestant is really cutting through the competition.
They're back to back. Grab the cash box. I'm back. Go, go. Move to cash out B. On your shortcut. The live wires are re-entering the arena.
Retaliation is coming. The Steamrollers need to stay on track.
Brightening things up. Our cash box has a new owner, folks. It's with the live wires now. Deja vu for the Kingfishers. Team wipe.
They're floundering, Scotty.
Look out for the new owners of that cash box. It's the Steamrollers. The Kingfish have respawned. Let's see how they bounce back. Cash out set in motion by the Steamrollers. This line up. Another shocking wipeout for the live wires.
They sure got zapped.
Keep your eyes on the Steamrollers. What a steal. Here's the zip line. We've got the live wires returning to the arena. The Steamrollers certainly cranked out a win in this match. Congratulations to our rising stars.